Salakia. Yahweh Bashim El Shai Brakatham. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. This is Brother Yatazadak back once again with another live lesson. As always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today we're going to go into Jeremiah chapter 13, going into the Hebrew. So, Lord willing, you're edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and Ba'ashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the 144,000 of the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Great Millstone, Hebrew Israelites, is the camp. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is the name. Yahweh is the Most High God's name. It's not Jehovah. It's not Yahuwah. It's Yahweh. Ba'ashem means in the name. In the ancient Hebrew tongue, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach is who you call Jesus Christ. Not Hamashiach. Hamashiach. Not Yahushua. Not Yeshua. Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. Right? So why you're prophesying in the latter days to you Jakes, right? As well as confusion of face, right? Some of our people look like other nations, but that just means we have took wives of the other nations in times past, so they have taken on the likeness of the other nations. But scriptures say that for my servant Abraham, right? For his sake, I have called thee, right? Chosen, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the children of the prophets, right? Scriptures say that hear, O Israel, right? The Lord our power, is one God, right? That's why I hear prophesying, right, about the coming of the RFID chip, martial law, FEMA camps, World War III, world economic collapse, universal basic income. The RFID chip is a mark of the beast. Revelation 13:16 says what? He causeth both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead, right? So 2/3 of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans will be coerced into taking the RFID chip. You're going to perish in the time of martial law, FEMA camps, right? So the Lord has put the spirit on the remnant, right? Starting with the heads, right? Which is why we give double honors to our elders and apostles, Great Millstone, right? That's in the New Testament, right? We give honor where honor is due. We give rebuke where rebuke is due. Reproofs, right? All these are instructions and ways of life, like it says in the Proverbs. I believe that's 7:21. Reproofs and instructions are a way of life. So that's our way, our manner of life is the things that the Lord has revealed unto us. Deuteronomy 20:31, right? The things that belong unto us is what the Lord has revealed unto us, right? Which is the word, right? Which is preaching sound doctrine, right? So we're not concerned with the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, like Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the other nations, Psalms 83, right? They have conspired to cut us off from being a name as a remnant, right? Your job is to focus on the truth of the matter, right? Which is the scriptures, which is the understanding, doctrine, right? And so that's what this thing is about, all right? So let's get right into it. Jeremiah, Salakia. Jeremiah chapter Salakia 14. So we're going into 14. The header of this chapter is a drought and a prayer for mercy, right? Shalom to you, sincere Akim, sincere aqua, right? Those to whom the Lord has, if the Lord has galvanized you through the Spirit, right, to tune in, to watch the videos, right, to study, pray, fast, keep the high holidays, keep the Shabbat to the best of your ability, which is a Sabbath day, right? We recently had the Sabbath, which is Salakia, which was uh, Salakia. Let's see if I can try and get the calendar. All right, here it is. Right, so you had the last Sabbath day, December 28th, right? The 30th was the new moon, which is sundown to sundown, all right? And we're currently at the first day. Tonight, sundown will be the second day of the new moon, right? Which is, let's see, just look it up real quick. Hebrew calendar. We're currently in the month of I believe it's what's that, 12, 11, 10, 9, which is Shabbat, right? And because as you know, the Passover is around March, right? So we still have Adar. So let's see, January, it's at 30th. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so March. We're currently at Shabbat, which is around the winter, like it says here. Um, the winter time, right, which is 30 days, Shabbat, right? So in about 2 months, right, we'll be in the New Year, Hebrew New Year, which is really in March, right? Because that's when the green starts to sprout, right? But anyways, let's go back to the blue letter. Jeremiah, the header of this chapter is drought and a prayer for mercy, which reads, that this is that which came to pass, the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah concerning the words of the dearth, which batazar just means to bind. So meaning the binding. The tha makes it plural, right? Which in a sense, that's what we're going through right now, right? You may not see it, right? But it's gonna be a famine which is gonna come creeping, right? Because you see inflation hitting, right? Deflation is gonna hit after inflation hits, like Elder Apostle Tahar said, which means prices of goods are gonna go up and then they're gonna go down. They're gonna regulate them, but that's when the government is gonna step in, right? Martial law means that, right, the government is gonna control the resources, right? Which is why the book of Second Ezra says that they shall be in a good case, right? Goods shall be easy to acquire, right? Because this is a way of getting the masses. Right now, the squeeze is going on. There's a big squeeze, right? But to get the masses to comply, this has to happen. And then you got to have the illusion of prosperity, right? Which you got stores closing, right? These are things that can't be ignored. You got false flags. You got all these things happening in the world, which is why we line up the prophetic word with current events, right? So it's not, if you're not paying attention, then you're gonna uh, think that things are all right. All right. So it reads Ashar Haya, the bar. And this was talking about when the Babylonians invaded and carried away the Jews from Jerusalem, which is the southern kingdom, and they were taken into captivity. They left the poor of the land to till the land. But you can apply that to to the modern day, right? So it says, so it reads Ashar Haya Dabar Yahweh Al Yaram Yahweh Al Dabar Yah Ha Batazarath. Jeremiah 14:2. Mourneth he mourneth Judah and her gates. Um, and in her gates there is a cutting off, because malal means to cut off. It also talks about speech, rude speech, because right, one tends to cut off another during in the midst of rude speech, right? Like they call in the world, speaking your mind, malal. So you have the bar to speak, amar to utter, to say, malal to talk, right? So it says that's why it says languishing, right? They are black unto the earth, and the cry tazaka. See what I did there? That's tazaka, an outcry, a screech of anguish. And the cry of the Jerusalem is gone up, which reads Abalah Yahawada Wash Arya Amalal Wa Odar Wa La Arataza Watazakath Yerushalayim Alatha. Verse 3 says, and her honorable ones, because the word dar means the root word means generation, but it also means right like honor, to honor. It's another way to say noble, but the word for noble is nadiab, right? Slack, just bear with me 1 second. And her honorable ones have set out unto their little ones to the waters. They have entered upon the pits, meaning upon their backs, right? Because when there's a dearth, right, you had particular reservoirs that Jake had, right, in order to which were called pools, reservoirs of water, wheat barns, right. And so they came to the waters upon their backs, right, so they could be satiated because of the lack of water, right. So it says, and they did not find it. They did not find, or Slakia, they did not find water, right. They returned, all of them, or Salakia, they returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and they were disgraced, and they covered onto their heads. Right, so that word for pit is gabium, but that means back, right? Or the hinder part. It's another way to say the hinder part, right? Um, because the water reservoirs were on the edge of their the village or whatever, the settlement, right? And right, so they were right. So this is the Lord. The Lord spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. He spoke, and the Lord said, "Look, this is what's going to happen," right? Like we read in the previous chapters. The Lord said, "Look, I sent my men time in and time out. You didn't get it, so you're going to get what I have spoken," right? So it says, "Wa adar Yahum shalachwa taza ayar Yahum lamayim ba'awa al gabium la'a mataza'awa mayim shabwa kol Yahum rayakwam bashwa waha kalambwa wahapwa or Salakia wahapwa ra'asham." Let's look at that word hapa. To cover, to veil, to overlay, which you can compare that with the word to hover, or chap, or to brood, right? So this would mean to overlay, right? Because the word pach means to breathe or to spread out, right? This is another way to say to cover, right? Like tazapan, those are cognates. Verse 4 reads, in account of, because the ground is chapped, which that word chath, here it says chatha, which means to dismay, right? To break, to be broken up, right? Or Salakia, yeah, to broken up, to break up, right? To snatch up. Sometimes in the Proverbs, when we go into the Proverbs, chatha means like to snatch up, to break up, right, to dismay, right, because the ground is broken up, because there was not showers upon the earth, and they were shame the husbandmen, a car that means husbandman, right? They covered their heads, right, which is an act of mourning, which is an act of disgrace, right? Sometimes, you would shave your, like in the book of Job. He didn't do it on purpose. He didn't say, okay, I'm gonna rip the hairs out of my beard, and you know, that was those were acts of mourning, of disgrace, being disgraced, right? Like the bald head, which was really to mourn for the dead, right? But anyways, says ba ibar ha atama khatha kaya la'a haya kasham ba rataza bashwa aquarium kapwa ra'asham. Verse 5 says, because even the hind, which let's look at that word hind, which is the buttocks, right? Which is aliyah, that's the root, right? In the field they brought forth, right? Let's look at the other translations to see what we can get. The deer, the doe, right? Which deer were animals that you were able to eat, but they were the less choice of the meats that you should be able to eat. Because, and even today, right, when you eat deer meat, it has more of a gamey feel, gamey taste. You know, if you know, you know. But the Lord said, and that's in the law, right? The clean and unclean can eat that, right? But it wasn't the choices of the meat, right? It wasn't used for ceremonial purposes. All right. So it says the hind and field they brought forth, and forsook it, and forsook, as in forsook their young, because there was not grass, because the Lord had commanded the dearth upon the land, right? Which reads Kaya Gam Alya Ayalath Bashada Yalada Wa Izab Kaya La'a Haya Dasha'a. Which this actually means herbage. Aishab means grass. Dasha'a means herbs, as in, a sprout, right? Grass is grass fully grown. Dasha'a is like a sprout at the beginning of the growing of grass, right? Which you can apply that to to herbs, right? Which you make tea out of herbs. You may put herbs on particular meats that you may cook, add it to a particular recipe, which is not the same as spices. The word for spices is basam, right? There's other words. Let's look at that real quick. Salakia. You have basham, you have some, rakach, which means apothecary, which is spices and herbs, a compound, spiced. Verse 6 says, "And the wild asses stood beside the high places, snuffing up the wind like dragons, all of them. Their eyes, or Salakia, they were they were consumed, their eyes, because there was no grass, right? So Dasha'az is sprout or herb. Aishab is grass. So it reads Wa Para'ayim Amadwa al Shapium Sha'apwa Raka Ka Danyum Kalwa Ayan Yaham Kaya Ayan Aishab. Verse Salakia. Verse 7 says, If our iniquities answer upon us, O Lord God, do it on account of your name, because great is our backsliding. Unto thee we have sinned, right? Which is what the prophet Jeremiah, the Lord put it in his spirit to say, right? And that's what we're saying through the spirit. At the end of the day, is right. 2/3 got to be judged. The remnant, we got to go through the straight gate. The nations got to, they're going to see the glory of the Lord. They're going to see, and they're going to be destroyed, right? It's not, this is not, we're not, this is not supreme mathematics. This is the laws and the governance of God. This is what he spoke. This is what was written, spoken, and he's not a man that he should lie. All right. So 2/3, whatever. He saw you had a good run. That's, you know, kudos to you at the end of the day, because the Lord, he gave you, like your forefather, you wanted a blessing, right? You got it, but the Lord is gonna destroy you because you took that, right? You ultimately, even though Jacob he supplanted Esau for the blessing, because the Lord wanted it to be that way. At the end of the day, you didn't do right by your blessing. Instead, you exalted the wicked, and you forwarded the affliction upon Yasha Allah, right? So you're gonna get your just due, right? Everyone is none shall be unaccounted for when it comes to what you will receive, because God is the God Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, uh, the God of Israel, Allahaya Yasha Allah, creator of heaven and earth, right? Right? He created all things for its purpose, right? And it just so happens to be that uh, we are, right, um, at the cup's full, to where the Lord's wrath is going to ultimately be spilled. It's going to be poured upon the earth, right? So nothing can stop it, right? You can stop. The Lord said, fear him which is not able to kill the body, but fear him that is able to deliver thee from hell. Something shortly paraphrasing, right? Because 2/3 your body is going to be destroyed in hell, right? And you're going to be raised up, but right, the elect have a different spirit. All right. So it says, I won Yanawa, Inawa, Panawa, Yahweh, Aisha, Lamayan, Shamka, Kaya, Rabwa, Mashab, Tayanawa, Laka, Hata'a Nawa. Says the hope, verse 8 reads the hope of Israel. It's delivered in a time of distress. For how shalt thou be like a sojourner in the land, and like a traveler that inclineth for the night? Because ultimately, right, the Lord said the end is not by and by. But when that time hits, the Lord is gonna the Lord, He's with us already, right? But you gotta believe. You gotta receive the understanding. Right? The Lord said we'd be strangers as pilgrims upon the earth, which we already are in a sense, because we're not, you know, we're not caring for the ways of this world, because we know at this point you got to know that something ain't right, you know. So as things uh, ramp up, we're gonna see the action behind what the Lord said He will do, right? So our message to the hopeful elect is you know just trust the Lord, right? Trust your how about Shemi Awashai, right? And that's it. It's not that deep, right? See, we're doing the heavy lifting, which is prophesying, putting we're out there to call you Jakes back to righteousness, right? So you Jakes can receive it, right? We're out there doing the sit downs, whatever, right? This is our work of love via the Lord. This is for you. We don't do it for our sake, right? We do it because that's what the Lord uh Salakia, that's what the Lord made. Created those uh to turn back from their ways, right? We're just passing the message on, right? So we're not taking lofty positions. We're just right, paying it forward, right? To the remnant, right? Those that will enter and receive the truth. Enter into and receive the truth. So it says, Makwa Yash'Allah, Ma Shayaiwa, Ba'aitha Tazara, Lama, Tahaya, Kagar, Ba'rataza, Waka, Arach, Mata, La Lawan. Verse 9. Verse 9 says, okay, the brother said the audio is kind of low. Can you hear it better now? So like, yeah, I just checked the comment board. I was really just trying to press into getting through the chapter. Right. But anyways, verse 9 says, for how, or Salakia, for how shalt thou be like a man that is silent, which that word is not, that's not the word for astonished. That word actually means to hum, means to be dumb, in the stupor, right? Which is that word is to hum, and it reads like a warrior, which is not able to save. And thou art in our midst, O Lord God, and your name upon us it is called, right? Meaning we are called by thy name. Do not um, do not lead us away, which the word yanach just means to lead, but do not lead us, which the idea is do not lead us astray or lead us away, which reads Lama Tahaya Ka Ayash Nadaham Ka Gabar La'a Yakal Laha Shayai Wa'atha Bakwa Rab Nawa Yahweh Washamka Al Yanawa Nakwara'a Al Tanaka Nawa. Verse Salakia. Verse 10 says, thus saith the Lord to the people this, so they have loved to wander uh, their feet, with their feet, they have not uh, considered, which the word, or Salakia, they have not refrained themselves. Hashak means to withhold, to refrain. And the Lord does not accept them. Now he shall remember their iniquity, and he shall visit their sins, their sin. Or Salakia, their sin. Ka Amar Yahweh La'im Hazah Kana Habwa La Nawai Regaliyaham La'a Hashakwa Wa Yahweh La'a Ratazam Aitha Yazakar Iwanam Salakia Waya Paquad Hata'atham. Verse 11 says, And said the Lord unto me, do not pray even upon the people this for good. Waya Amar Yahweh Aliyah Al Ta Tapalal Ba'ad Hayat Ha'aim Hazah La Tabah. Verse 12. Salakia. Verse 12 says, because they fast, I will not hear. Basically that means because when they fast, I will not hear. Unto their cries, unto their cry, because they offer up a burnt offering and oblation, which that's not the word for oblation. That just means an offering, right? But you could say in this case, it means oblation. I will not accept them because upon the sword and upon famine and upon pestilence, I will consume them. Because that word dabar means word, right? But also means pestilence. Because dabar means to lead or to lead out, right? That's what happens with the pestilence, right? There's the origin and it grows and it, right? Kaya yatazamwa ayanaya shamai al rantam wa kaya ya alwa ila wa manacha ayanaya ratazam kaya bacharab waba raab waba dabar anakya makala atam. The next header is false prophets, right? So that's what you have Jake doing right now. They think because they're so called in the truth, you're in IUIC. Oh well, I'm still keeping the laws, but you're guilty by association, right? That's why the Lord said He hates your feast days, right? Because you fast, but you're not taking heed to what the servants of the Lord are really telling you, which is to keep an eye on what's coming, which is not to take the charagma. That is the whole of the matter, which is receiving the warning and acting upon it, coming out of these right man worship and because you want to be in the camp, you want to be around the sisters. The Lord didn't call us for that. And I'm talking to those that are willfully, right, that heard the truth and they're still following these wayward doctrines. Because if you heard the truth, then you're going to repent and you're going to trust in the Lord, right? But Jake loves the attention. Jake loves his these positions that he's in. But you're going to be judged worse than your followers, right? Which goes into the false prophets, the next header of this chapter, right? That's in the book of St. James, which says, don't you know that, let's get that real quick because, I'm getting excited. Right up. James, I believe that's chapter 3. James 3 and 1. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. Right? So you so-called teachers, you're going to receive the greater, right? You're going to be condemned for leading all your followers astray. Right? So your sacrifice is not accepted. Bishop Nathaniel, General Yohana, God knows if he's still alive, because I haven't seen any videos on General Yohana. Where the hell's he at? Where the hell's where are these leaders at? The next header is false prophets, which reads, and I said, aha, meaning just means like, an acknowledgement, you know? It just that just means like an exclamation, you know? Word expressing pain, exclamatory. It could be pain or it could be astonishment. It's just expressing an exclamation. You know how they say, okay, the house is burning, you know? And then you put the exclamation mark at the end, but it would be in the Hebrew, aha, aha, ha bayath. Um, Yahayawah Tazatha, which means aha, the house is become burnt. So it says, and I said, O Lord God, behold the prophets, they say unto them, you shall not see the sword and famine, there shall not be unto you, which shall not be unto you, because peace, truth, I shall give unto you in a place this, that's what the false prophets were doing, right? Like previous chapters we read, they have healed the hurt of the daughter of our people, saying peace when there is no peace. You know? Meaning they have mended, right, the ways of my people, meaning they're right, they're saying what they want to say. They're not saying what they're supposed to say. Okay? We're saying through the spirit that Salakia, that the Lord is visiting the earth. Salakia. All right. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is visiting the earth. Right? So we're not leaving any stone unturned. The Lord didn't say leave stones unturned. Right? And there's a method that you gotta, if you're right, if you call yourself a so-called teacher, There's a method you got to have in this thing. All right? You can't just be screaming at Jake. You can't just be talking crazy. All right? There's order to this thing. As it is written, the Lord gave the word, and great was the man that published it. Great men are men that have respect to persons. All right? So it says, Wa Amar, Aha, Adanya, Yahweh, Hana, Ha, Nabayam, which that looks like a scribal error. Or Salakia, that actually says, Behold, those that prophesy unto them, those that prophesy say unto them, they say unto them. Right? Salakia. Right? Ha, Nabayam, Amaryam, Laham, La'a, Thara'awa, Harab, Wa Ra'ab, La'a, Yahaya, Lakam, Kaya, Shalawam, Amath, Athan, Lakam, Bamakwam, Hazah. Verse 14 says, He said the Lord unto me, Falsely the prophets prophesy in my name. I have not sent them, and I have not commanded them, and I have not spoken unto them. Their visions are a falsehood, and um and their divination, and it is an impious thing, as in an ungodly thing. Now, Qasam, divine, it doesn't mean that the prophets were practicing magic, right? When you go into that root, it also means oracle. It means let's look at this. To practice divination, right? Which when you go into that word divination, it goes into let's get that real quick, because right, because you have omens and you have one that is observes an omen, right? Meaning they're learned in the ways of God. That's all that diviner means, learned in the ways of God. Which that's on the left hand side. You got warlocks, witches. Salakia. Okay, so it says from Divis of or belonging to God, inspired prophetic, right? Which means you're learned in the ways of God. They call them in modern days they call them what is it theologists. Theo is Greek for God. Ologist means you're learning into those ways. You know about things pertaining to God, right? And the deceit of their heart are they that prophesy unto you, right? So it's a false vision. It's divination. It's at the end of the day, they're talking like they know about the Lord, but they've been deceived. You know, because the Lord can put a spirit on you and a demonic spirit and turn you into a false prophet if you fall out. Like in the book of I believe that's in the book of Judges. You know, there's a prophet that the Lord said, look, go and prophesy and do not turn to the left or to the right. But there was another prophet. The Lord set up another prophet, and the prophet said, look, tarry at my house, you know. And then when the prophet got to the other prophet's house, the prophet said, thus saith the Lord had told you not to go to the left or to the right, but you did it, so a lion's gonna eat you up. Right? Something to that effect, you know? So you so-called you false pastors, IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, think you're speaking the truth to Jake? No, you're not. And you know it. And you know you've been deceived. So you can't do nothing but keep playing the part of the liar. So it reads, Why Amar Yahweh Aliyah Shakwar Ha Naba'ayim Naba'ayim Bashamya La'a Shalach Tayim Wala'a Tazayathim Wala'a Dabarataya Aliyaham Salakia Khazan Shakwar Wakwasam Wa Alyal Wata Ramyath Labam Hama Mata Naba'ayim Lakum. You know, so that's why this ministry is not a joke. You got to count the cost before you come into this thing, right? And through the Spirit, we didn't really count the cost because we know that this is the right thing to do. But we actually did count the cost. But what we're saying is we were sure of what we were sure of what we were doing when we entered into this thing, because the Lord galvanized us to do so. The Lord touched us, and we couldn't we didn't fight against flesh and blood, strive against flesh and blood, like Paul the Apostle said. Verse 15 says, For so thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I have not sent them, and they have said, Sword and famine shall not be in the land this. Upon the sword and upon the famine um, they shall be consumed. The prophets they Lakan ka Amar Yahweh al ha Naba'ayim Bashamya wa Anya La'a Shalachtayim wa Hama Amaryim Harab wa Ra'ab La'a Yahaya ba Ratazah Haza'ath ba Harab wa ba Ra'ab Yatamwa ha Naba'ayim ha Hama. Or Salaki, it doesn't actually say prophets, it says concerning those that prophesy in my name, right? They shall be consumed upon sword, upon famine, they shall be consumed. Those that prophesy, they. Verse 16 says, the people which they unto which unto they prophesy unto Salakia, and the people which they prophesy unto them, they shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem from before the famine and the sword. There shall be none nearby unto them, right? Or Salakia, there shall be none to bury them, they, their wives, and their sons, and their daughters. And I will pour out upon them unto their own wickedness, unto their wickedness, as in their own recompense, right? Wahaim, Ashar, Hama, Nabaayim, Laham, Yahayawa, Mashalakim, Bachatazath, Yerushalayim, Mapanya, Ha-Ra'ab, Waha, Harab, Wa-Ayan, Ma-Kwabar, La, Hama, Hama, Nashiham, Wabanyaham, Wabanathiyaham, Washapaktaya, Al-Yaham, Atha, Raitham. And Salaki, if I seem like I'm in a rush, it's because I have an appointment. I have to be, have somewhere to be shortly. So it says, verse 17, and thou shalt say unto them, unto the word this, right? Let it run down upon my eyes tears, night and day, by night and by day, and do not cause them to cease because of the breaking great, which shall be broken unto the virgin daughter of my people, right? With a smiting, with a blow, painful exceedingly. Wa Amarath al Yaham, Atha Hadabar, Hazah, Tharadna, Ayanya, Damaya, Layala, Wa Yama, Wa Al, Tadamyana, Kaya Shabar, Gadal, Nashabara, Batawalath, Bath Amya, Maka, Nakala, Ma'ad. You know, so Jeremiah, he was telling them, look, I don't want to see you die, right? But you know, it is what it's gonna happen, right? Verse 18 says, if I go forth into the field, and there I am slain with the sword, and if I enter into the city, and there are those that are sick of the famine, because even prophet, even the priest, go about. The word sahar means to go around, to travel around, which that word means it means round, right? Or moon. Travel about unto a land, and they do not know it, right? The prophet Jeremiah was saying, look, it's over. It's over for us. You know? If I go into the field, right, the slain will be there. If I go into the city, there are those who are sick with the famine. The prophet and the priest go in the land that they know not, right? The prophet Daniel, case in point, and other men, you know? So it reads, I'm Ya Taza'a Thaya Hashada Wa Hana Halal Ya Harab Wa I'm Ba'a Thaya Ha Ayar Wahana, Tha Khala'aya, Ra'ab, Kaya, Gum, Nabia'a, Gum, Kahan, Saharwa, or Salaki, Sakarwa, Al, Rataza, Wala'a, Yadaiwa. Woo! Man, it's getting heavy. Verse 19 says, Hast thou utterly rejected unto Judah? If Zion, is it so that Zion is loath? Which Gael just means to abhor, or that which is vile. Basically, that which is vile. Is Zion vile? If in Zion there be vileness, there'll be those that are vile unto your soul. Why has thou smitten us, and there's none unto us healing? Hoping for peace, and there is no good, to the time of healing, and behold, disquietness, which is another way to say trouble. This means to startle, right? Right? And that's where you Jakes, you think things are gonna get better. They're not gonna get better. We're in the time to where you're really gonna have to pick a side, right? And when you do, you're either gonna reap the consequences, or the Lord is gonna right, accept you, right? Which reads Ha Ma'asath, Atha Yahabuda, I'm Ba Tazayawan, Ka Ila, Napashka, Madai, Hak Yathnawa, Wa Ayan Lanawa, Mabra Pa'a, Kwa, La Shalawam, Wa Ayan, Tawab, Wala'ath, Mabra Pa'a, Wahana, Ba'atha. We acknowledge, O Lord, verse 20, we acknowledge, O Lord, our wickedness, the iniquity of our forefathers, because we have sinned unto thee, Yadai Nawa, Yahweh, Rashai Nawa, Awan, Abathaya Nawa, Kaya, Hata'a Nawa, Laka. Verse 22 says, Do not be provoked, as in do not be provoked by us on account of your name, right? Do not disgrace. There's a word in the ball. Just means to become withered, faded, right? So we read, do not be weary on account of the thorn of your glory. Remember, do not break your covenant with us, right? Because the remnant that are returning, that's a message. Repent, return, and seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushai while he still may be found. Which reads, Al Tha Na'atazah, Lamayan, Shamka, Al, Thanabal, Kasa'ah, Kabadka, Sakar, Al Thapar, Baryathka, Athanawa. Verse 22 says, is there upon the vanities of the Gentiles? Is there among the vanities of the Gentiles, right, that causes showers? And if there be, and if there be in the heavens, those that give much rain, is it not thou, he which is the Lord our God, and we shall wait unto thee because thou has made unto all of these, right? Ha Yasha, Bachal Balaya, Hagawayim, Magashamyam, Wa'im, Hashemayim, Yatanwa, Rabayim, Rabbayim, Hala'a, Atha, Hawa, Yahweh, Allahayinawa, Wa, Nakwa, Laka, Kaya, Atha, Ashiath, Atha, Kal, Alha. Ba'ashem Mashayak Yahushai, right? So with that, this brother Yatazadak, hero of Israel. And as always, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. And as always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Right? Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect, of you sincere Akim and Akwath. May Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, bless you and keep you. And Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Right, so the Sabbath day, Salakia, let me get that real quick. The Sabbath day is Thursday. Let me verify that. Six. What is that? Yep, that's on point. Sabbath day is Thursday. Sundown to sundown. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatham. Kwame Sha'ala. Bad Ball. Shalom. Till next time, Shalom.